Alright guys, welcome back. On this episode we're going to be doing a mid-tier madness, and we're going to be doing it with shotguns. So the focus of this video is to do mid-tier / early level weapons, and this section is going to be about shotguns. So we have 4 contestants that we're going to be looking at, and all of these are cheap beginner weapons, and we'll go over price and all that stuff here in a minute. And before we begin, if you guys have not, please subscribe, smack the notification bell, leave a comment in the comment section below, join our Discord, all that good stuff. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, and it helps out Dead Frontier. And if you guys are enjoying these videos, please hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's get down to business. So a couple things we're going to do different this time around than our previous episodes. So to start out with, I have a setup of implants here, and since I'm in a clan, I tried to balance it out. So I left off implants, put on implants back and forth until I got my implant set up similar to how a new player would have it. So obviously you'd have as a new player, you would have 4 starter implants, but I left those off to balance out my clan boosts. So realistically, if a new player started, they would have these implants within the first 20 million of the game. So you have the runner implant, the quartermaster implant, adrenostim implant, neurodrive implant, and the secrolink implant. So those are all cheap implants, so this is way past doable for anybody. The mid-tier weapons, we have the Ace Barrel, the Jackhammer 10G, the CC12, and the X-Manberg. So those are our 4 shotgun contestants. So what we're going to do, obviously they're not made for the Wasteland, but we're going to take them to the Wasteland because this is mid-tier madness. So we're going to see how much DPS they do. Check out the knockback. I thought about doing it up here at Synchronom, but I don't think there's enough aggro or a consistent flow. Whereas the Wastelands, I'm not going to be killing all kinds of enemies, but I can test the damage per second and the knockback. So I think that's our best bet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip each weapon. I'm going to check out our average EXP up here at the top left. I'll refresh it after each lap. And then at the end, we should have our winner as far as DPS goes, but we're also going to look at price point. Again, these are starter beginner shotguns for mid-tier. So anyway, let's begin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start off, and I'm just going to run down here to the Wastelands. And then as soon as I'm there, I will resume this. So just hang tight. Alright guys, so we are down here about to enter the Wastelands. So before we jump in here, I'm going to go over what our boosts are, okay? So if you look on the left here in the green, it's very hard to read. Speed is 76%. Damage boost is 65%. So just keep aware of that. And I believe all this is attainable for a new player. And then EXP boost is 298. But we are doing this during a Christmas event, right? So just keep that in mind. And actually, since I have Ultra Boost, let me go into my inventory real quick. I might, let's see here. Trying to look at the damages, movement speed, attack speed. It might be better, guys. It might be better just to... Here, let me set this up. Let me pause this. I'm going to set this up better. I want it to be an actual very good test for somewhat of a mid player, right? So just hang tight. All right, guys. So I ran back and I redid my looting setup. I redid my grinding setup. So here's what we got. So we have a flat, even 0% damage boost. So right now, even with my Ultra Boost, I put on implants that lowered my damage. So we will have 0% damage boost. And the reason I left it at 0% is because my experience boost is 291. So I'm going to get, I think the event gives us 200%. I'm getting 91% extra. So between the implants that you guys have for beginners and the damage, it's going to make up that difference. So this is going to be an actual very good look at what is possible without spending $200 million on implants, okay? So this is the setup we're going to run. And we're going to go down like normal. We're going to go down 3 blocks. And we're going to see how we do down here in the Wastelands with these shotguns. And again, just like before, we will do, you know, a couple minutes with each one, and then write down the damage, and then come back and see who takes the lead here. And we're going to start off with the ace barrel and the jackhammer. Now, I would assume the jackhammer is going to do better, but again, I don't know. Alright, so we're here. Let me go ahead and go into single player mode. It's the best way to test stuff, that way there's no latency. Alright, we are in single player mode. So now, the next part, getting aggro. So this is the ace barrel. And again, I'm just trying to get some aggro. EXP at the top left, here we go. I have never been down here with an ace barrel. As far as crowd control goes, not bad, honestly. A little bit surprised by this. Now I do have 125 or 124% speed boost, but I'm walking, I'm not running. 8 million. And again, we're going to give it several updates here. And these are beginner shotguns, like your low / mid tier. Synchronon bunker is where I would be using these at. And again, the reason we're testing them down here is because there's constant aggro, and it makes the test easy to really see the knockback and the damage. So 17 mil. I really need to find a good area. That's the hardest part, is just getting started down here in the wastelands. So 17 million. Let's see what this changes to. And we're just going to go off the average. 19 million. Do another round here. And remember, this is just basic, man. This is with no real damage boost. Not even a whole lot of experience boost besides the event going on. This is just plain Jane, the ace barrel at its core. I don't see a whole lot of things dying, but we're getting damage in there, so we are gaining experience. 21. So I think it's starting to slow down, maybe. Let's keep going. I don't really like this spot that I'm at the wastelands. I don't like this area. 21-3. The knockback is nice, though, on the ace barrel. If you're looking for a knockback gun at Synchronom, this is pretty nice. So 22-2. So not a bad update. We'll do one more update, and then we're going to switch it out. Man, 22-6. One more. A little scary right there. Again, the ace barrel is not really meant to be down here at the wastelands. 22-6. What's this next update? Come on, guys. So 23. We'll call it at 23 because it is slowing down. We'll call it at 23 mil. So let me pause this and let me write this down, or not pause, but let me escape to pause the game. Okay, and I'm going to write 23 million. All right, so now we're going to switch to our next weapon, and this is going to be the Jackhammer. Should notice a big difference here. I think this one costs several million more. And actually, here, let's reset this. Don't let me forget that. Alright, so go up here. Info, reset. Okay, everything's reset. Apply. Okay, let's go back to our game. Alright, we are reset, and we're going to start this timer. So this is the Jackhammer 10G, another shotgun. I know this one costs more than the Ace Barrel. I feel like the Ace Barrel has more knockback. This one obviously shoots faster, and I would imagine probably hits harder. So already at 50 mil. And I would imagine that's 39 mil. I would imagine that it's going to be a lot higher, just because the rate of fire. But I feel like the Ace Barrel does have a better knockback system to it. Let's see what we get to here. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that broke my armor. One hit. 35. Surprisingly, I didn't die from that. So we're at 32.5. But also the update that me going into my inventory to switch armors will mess up that last update, so that's probably why I went down so much. Let's go ahead and give it another go. Now this zone, I do not like the zone where I'm at. There's just too much buildings and buses and cars and all kinds of shit in my way when I'm walking. That's the other good thing about the Wastelands, is once you get a zone you like and you remember it, it's honestly a lot better than this. So 30,200,000. Let's see what happens here. It should be updating. Alright, so 30 million, guys, because it's even going down. So we're going to call it at 30 million. We're going to open our inventory, and we're going to switch weapons. So we're going to say 30 million for the Jackhammer. Let me write this down. Alright, so our next two contestants are going to be the CC-12 and the X-Manberg, which was requested. So a lot of these weapons, guys, were asked for. That's why I'm reviewing them, if you were not aware. Alright, so we're going to start out with the CC-12. And actually, don't let me forget, I got to reset this counter. Let's do that real quick. F5. Info. Reset. Okay. Alright, here we go. Everything is reset. And we are going to see how this does. And this is the CC-12. This is a really cheap shotgun. I think the knockback's actually okay. I still think the Ace had really good knockback. Maybe that's just me. But I think this has better knockback than the last shotgun. So 22.7 first update. So should get more than that. 23.2. And again, we'll do multiple updates for each gun just to make sure we have an accurate, somewhat of an accurate reading here. But yeah, I'm not having any issues with this. The CC12 actually does very well. The biggest obstacle that you're going to have as a new player is the speed issue. 23.6 is where we're at. If you don't have speed, it would be difficult down here to grind with any of these items. Still 23.6. 23.9. So, yeah, it's going to stop around 24. We'll do one more update for it. And again, this is like mid-tier shotguns. After these ones, you really get into like higher damaging shotguns, but you also are going to pay for that, right? You're going to be spending 20 to 30 million or 50, 60, 70 million for those. 23.9. 24.1. So 20, we're gonna call it a 24. So let me pause this and reset the timer and all that good stuff. And I'm going to write down 24 for the CC12. All right, now we're going to test our final gun here. And let me reset this. Reset, okay. The X-Manberg. Now, this is the one I wanted to see the most. I don't know why. The X weapons, I just kind of like, for whatever reason. Some weird. Let's see what the... I'm expecting this one to do very well. Maybe even win, but I honestly couldn't tell you guys. Just my guess here. So knockback, it's doing its job. Not bad. .28.5, first update. Uh-oh. That could have been bad. Again, that's why I like areas that don't have a lot of junk laying around. It's doing some damage, though. 35. 30,500,000. Let's keep going. I think we're going to get up, and again, I don't know what I'm guessing here. I'm going to say around 35 mil, maybe? $31.5. We'll do another update. We updated 1 million that time. Knockback is nice with the X-Manberg. Definitely nice. I'm not even really worrying too much. $32. So it's slowing down. We'll call it at 32. So let me pause this real quick. All right, let me write this down. All right, let me go to my inventory. So we did the CC12, we did the X-Manberg, we did the Ace Barrel, and we did the Jackhammer. And we'll finish it off with the grand finale here. And we'll switch to the Cryostorm. And just kind of compare so you guys can see what the exact damage boost that I'm using now to give you a different reading on this thing. Reset values, apply. And again, this is with no damage boost, guys. Pretty much just using EXP boost at this point. You guys will be, if you guys watch my $100 million implant guide for beginners, you can pretty much get all the boosts that I have right now for $100 million and be the exact same way I am. Now you can already tell. If you can't tell, look at the aggro. Look at the knockback. This is just how much of a difference this shotgun is, guys. I mean, this is huge. Absolutely no issues. I mean, I'm barely even walking. This thing's ridiculous. 30,400,000. But again, this is an $80 million shotgun, right? I mean, this thing's ridiculous. It's expensive, but this is in-game. And again, it's only at the credit shop for a couple more days. 36 mil. The issue with this gun is I can't keep the aggro alive because I kill it all. $38.5. It's definitely a lot easier to control the aggro with this. $38.5. It should update any second. 39.7. So we're still doing million updates here. Over a million, actually. It's probably going to stop around 40s. And again, this is with no boost. Just experience boost, really, and my speed boost, but that doesn't affect the outcome of the experiment here. $39.2. Let's see what our next update is. See if it goes up by a million. That's so easy to control this aggro, though. It's like cheat mode. $39.5. So it didn't go up a lot. I'm going to call it at 40. So 40 million with the Cryostorm, guys. So let's go back, and then we're going to go over the results, okay? So just hang tight. Let me pause this, and I'll see you guys back at the outpost in 1 second. All right, guys. So we made it back to the base here. So we're going to go over this real quick. So we just reviewed 4 mid-tier guns, mid-tier shotguns, and 1 in-game shotgun, right? So let's compare these here. So let me flashbang you. So bright screen, be ready. All right. So the first one was the Jackhammer. We did 30 million DPS. It costs, so the cost of the Jackhammer is 4.5 million, okay? We had the CC12. It did about 24 million and it's 289,000. So not even $1 million bucks for the CC12. The X-Manberg was $5 million. So almost the price of the Jackhammer. It does 32 million. The Ace Barrel does 23 million for 360k. And the Cryo, which is the in-game shotgun, does 40 million for 82.5 million. So a couple things to think about here. When you're looking at these, so when you're looking at, say, let's just say 32 million for the X-Manberg versus the 40 for the Cryo, doesn't sound like much. But when you start, much difference. But when you start adding XP boosts, attack speed boost, damage speed boost, that 8 million EXP gap will exponentially grow. So you're talking 30 to 60 million EXP an hour difference, easy. So just keep that in mind. This is just at very base, right? So, and again, this is for beginners. That's why I'm doing it this way. So this will expedite the more implants you get. So if you're beginning the game and you can't afford an $82 million gun, these are the ones that you're going to be looking for if you're going shotguns. So just looking at the basics here, I'm going to say, let's see here. I mean, realistically, the CC12 is your best bang for the buck, literally. And then after that would be the X-Manberg. So you'd want to go CC12 and then X-Manberg. So let's look at these. So the Jackhammer, it did 30 million DPS. It's 4.5 million. It takes 120 shotgun skill. It says it does 290, 414 damage per second. The CC12 does 340. And again, looking at the CC12, you can see the damage there, difference. But the CC12 is way cheaper. And then we got the X-Manberg, which does 468 damage, which it definitely beats the Jackhammer, and you can see that again from the stats here, 468. And then we have the Ace Barrel, which does 360, which is it's respectable, and it does 23k. So anyway, the attack speed of the CC12 and the Ace Barrel has fast attack speed versus slow attack speed, so that's why you see that damage. But the knockback is probably better on this. Knockback 43. Well, it says the knockback's better for CC12, but anyway, all of the damages matched up to our testing. And again, these will scale. So if you're a new player and you're looking for a gun and you have under 500,000, then you're going to want to grab the CC12. If you have 5 million, grab the X-Manberg. And if you can afford it, get the Cryo. That's the end game right there. So those are the 3 shotguns you guys want to keep an eye out for. The CC12, the X-Manberg, and the Cryo. So hopefully this helps bridge the gap on mid-tier items. And we're going to be doing a lot of these segments, guys. I just wanted to get this one out. Let me know what you guys thought of everything. And again, I kept the implants bare bone. This would neglect all my Ultra Boost and everything like that by keeping it like this. And if you guys want a good implant setup for under 100 million, go watch my video. It has a great setup for under $100 million for implants, all the way up to level 220. So anyway, let me know if you guys like this video. And do not forget to subscribe. I really need your support, guys. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscriptions. We're almost there. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just smack that button for me. And I really appreciate you guys. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.